We took a weekend trip to Central America, to the small country of Belize, and here's what we found in our hotel. Hey folks, welcome to the Down the Road Travel Channel. My name is Will Van Winkle. We are at the Harbor View Boutique Hotel and Wellness Retreat in Belize City, Belize. While in Belize, we saw Lamanai Mayan ruins. Dun, da, da.
Don't fall because
Dun, da, da, da. Arriving via boat through the Jungle River tour. Relaxed in Key Calker. Snorkeled Ho Chan Ray. We actually split our stay between Belize City and Key Calker. First night was in Belize City. We stayed at the Harbor View Boutique Hotel and Wellness Retreat. Now, to be fair, the rooms are not Harbor View. The hotel office and the restaurant are Harbor View. The rooms are actually across the street, but the grounds were great. The well-maintained, got a very sense that you were in a private area. We had 4 rooms, I believe, in our bungalow, and they're set up into different bungalows. These are some of the smaller ones. King-size bed. It was, I want to say it was painted concrete flooring, so floors were not the most comfortable. The bed was a little hard. Rooms were small. Had split unit AC. They said the water is safe to drink, the tap water is safe to drink, but even the locals don't drink the water in Belize, so I wouldn't recommend it if I were you. Make sure you go get some water. There's a water taxi terminal, maybe 5-minute walk from there, so you can get all the stuff that you need from there. What we did notice, we walked into the hotel, the staff was friendly. They actually kept our luggage there for us until the room was ready at about 3 p.m. They don't lock up the luggage, but it seemed fairly safe there. I even forgot to take some of the money that I had with me out of the suitcase or backpack, because we were only there for a weekend. We were shoving everything into backpacks. Didn't have any trouble with it. I don't recommend leaving the money in there, but I did forget because I had my money split up into 3 different places because I was carrying a lot of cash because I had to pay for the remainder of an excursion tour that we had booked the next day. So I had extra cash with me, and that's what I forgot to take out of my backpack. Again, no problem. They're very honest. Upstairs from the check-in is the restaurant, Maria's Cafe, I believe it is. We had lunch there. Meh. Now, there's going to be more information on that on my food review that will be coming out a little later on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video while you're at it. Any comments you have, leave them in there, and enable those notifications so that way you get notified when that next video comes out. We checked in, we went upstairs, we grabbed a bite to eat. It was still a little early, so we walked over to the water taxi terminal to see where we were meeting our tour group the next day, figure out how to buy tickets for the water taxi so that we could go over to Key Calker the next day. By the time we got done with all that, we came back, we were able to check in our room. We did a little walk around the grounds. Right in front of our room, there's this courtyard kind of thing, and they had basically a mound of grass, and it went in spirals, like a little maze. Doesn't say what it's for, but there's like a little poem there. I think based on the poem, it might have been like an earthing center for yoga. So maybe you're going there and you're doing like Tai Chi or yoga or something like that in the center of the circle, and it's supposed to give you some kind of energy boost or relaxation boost. I'm not really sure. Didn't use it, but it's actually very peaceful to look at. There's a Buddha statue over there. There is a swing, like a porch swing type thing. 2 pools. One of them just seems to be like a 4 foot deep by 4 foot wide by maybe 8 to 12 feet long. So maybe that's a lap pool, maybe it's a kiddie pool. And then in the back, there's the regular pool. As I said, the rooms themselves, they're not big. They're nothing special. At least the one that we had. There are some other rooms, different price categories, and prices vary. We didn't have one of those, so I don't have much information on that. The hotel itself was nice. It was clean. Water worked well. The shower was a little different than American. Like if you turn it one way you're only going to get cold. If you turn it the other way, you're going to get hot. So, in the hotels in the US and in Europe for that matter, if it's got the one knob, you turn it one way all the way, and the further you go, the hotter it gets. Well, this is kind of the opposite. Still took seconds to figure out. Split unit ACs, remote controlled, TVs in the room, but not really any service. So I'm not sure why they have the TVs in the room. Same thing we experienced in Key Calker. So I think TV service just may be a little difficult in the area. The area that the hotel is in, not a lot to do for tourists. It looks like they are in the planning phases of making that area a little bit more tourist friendly, a little more things to do. There's some high-end hotels coming in, some higher-end restaurants, but it looks to be at least 5 to 10 years away from completion in that area. Safe area. We're on the north side of Belize City. The south side has the gang issues. And even one of our taxi drivers / tour guide people told us it's not recommended, but it's not necessarily dangerous to tourists. Belize knows that their economy depends on tourism. So basically they're told not to mess with the tourists. So little less to worry about there. Just does look very much like a developing country. So if that bothers you, Belize may not be the place for you, at least not this part. Stick with San Pedro. We chose this because it was very close to where the tour for the Mayan ruins was leaving. And as I said, we could just walk over there. There's really not a whole lot to say about the hotel. The room was very small, quiet. Beds were a little hard. Everything you expected in the bathroom. One thing I will say is when you're booking that hotel, make sure you are looking for amenities that you want. Air conditioning, hot water, because it's not always common in Belize for hot water because it is a warmer country. So you're not always going to find hot water there. You also want to look for bathrooms in the rooms rather than shared bathrooms. And these are all things that you can put into whatever website or app that you're using to look for your hotels. Overall, if we're talking 5 stars, I give this probably about a 3. It would be on the level of, say, a Best Western, Red Roof Inn, something like that. It's not as bad as a Super 8. It's not as good as the Radisson, but it's somewhere in between there. It is a good place to lay your head down, feel safe, get some sleep, but it's nothing to be impressed about. The grounds themselves were actually really impressive. The rooms, just they're a place to sleep. And let's face it, if you're going to Belize and you're going to be in Belize City, you're going to be in Belize City for reasons other than the hotels at this time. Now, it is changing. It does look like it's going to be a few years, but at this time, it's kind of a stopover point. Like, say you get in and you're going to miss your water taxi, or you're doing an excursion and you're afraid you might not get the last water taxi out or the first one over. So it's a good place to keep that stress from hitting you, but it's nothing special. It's nothing bad either. There are some links to products that may make your trip to Belize a little bit easier in the description of the video, such as sunscreen and off bug wipes. Remember to like, comment, and share the video, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you down the road. Let's hit the road.